was in the mind of the president.
Yes.
I do not know whether that's what Honorable Odinga also had in mind, but he does not have that in mind.
Yes.
And I know where his fear is. You've heard of him saying that his MPs have been bought. And you know how our member of parliament behave. So I think the biggest fear and trouble is that it can go to the parliament, then they shoot it down because of their vested interest. So I tend to believe we respect our members of parliament, but history tells us they are not men and women of integrity. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest problem we have with our leaders. Today they will talk about this, tomorrow they change tune according to how is it going to benefit them.
Yes.
You've seen even before Honorable Odinga and the president, they were friends.
No, quite high, yeah.
And in 2007, you could not separate the two. His Excellency, the president, and former president were like this. And other political leaders. So our political leaders, they come together not because, I would say not because of the nation. They come together because of how am I going to benefit from this? How is this issue of hunger going to be debated in the parliament? What resolutions and laws can be passed on that? I think we are supposed, our leaders should be accountable to what they told us, both the government, the ruling, and the leader of the opposition.
Yes.
They are supposed to be accountable to us, not to themselves.
So, Albert, let's look at what now Raila Odinga later on, after realizing that then this was the plan for the president, saying, well, it's not going to enter the committee. Whatever they come up with is going to go back to the National House. Let's first, even before I ask you about this, let's first begin from what Raila Odinga did tell the president. I'm giving you 7 days. We didn't know what those 7 days meant because they've been counting down. Now what we do know, we only have 2 days that are left out of those 7 days. We have not even seen the full committee that has been nominated then or selected to actually start these conversations. What do you read into Raila Amollo Odinga's decision then to give the president or the Kenya Kwanza government 7 days to finalize this bipartisan conversation? Because they said if it's not 7 days, I'm going back.
Okay, thank you. I tend to believe, and I think that he could be also, maybe he's read some mischief. And he does not enjoy the confidence of the president. That's why he's worried that if I do not give conditions, this thing can go on for even years, weeks, and what have you. So I tend to believe him coming up with those kind of conditions, he's just being careful not to find himself in a fix. And he is thinking that maybe this issue of having a negotiation is to cool, the temperatures in the country. Then things will be like to normal. The condition of 7 days and I don't know whether any response has come up from it. You can see they're still struggling on forming the committees. And even during this process of forming the committee, I believe there are also confusions as to what to do, because what are the terms of reference? What are they supposed to look at? In resolving these conflicts, what ails us? What the biggest problem we have? Why is this conflict there? How and what can we do about the conflict? Those are the things that we are supposed to look at, even before we give conditions. And the truth of the matter, Kenyans are not ready to go back on the streets.
Despite what the Azimio coalition is saying, isn't the Kenyans are